is the Last Picture Show with Rahim Khan, and today it's Avatar: Fire and Ash. I must admit, when the first movie came out, almost 15 years ago, my God, I did not like it. Despite the Oscar nomination, despite the technical marvel, the technical achievement that it was, I found the movie to be wholly derivative. It was Dances with Wolves in space. I really didn't like the character design of the Na'vi. They're just like, just really like tall cat people. I didn't like it. And I didn't buy into it. I didn't buy into the movie at the time, despite the accolades, despite the commercial success. There's just something about the movie that I didn't warm up to. And I think perhaps because the ticket price, because I remember watching it, what was it, sort of in IMAX 3D or something like that. It cost me an arm and a leg. I was like, no, I'm not, sorry. But Come the Way of Water, the sequel to the movie, I warmed up to it. But I warmed up to it because it wasn't the story. I mean, The Way of Water was essentially the first movie, but now set in a different location on this planet. The only thing I think, and I still remember this, sitting in that cinema, even though it was released late here, I think it released almost a month or two later for some reason or the other. There's that scene where they are, I think it's that Sigourney Weaver character, the hybrid or whatever you want to call that one. She's in the water, and I was so awestruck by the CGI, this whatever you want to call it, the sort of the digital imagery, the computer generated imagery, the special effects, the VFX, everything about that one scene almost brought me, I would say, to tears because it was so beautiful. And that alone, I think, justified me sitting there for 3 hours because just looking at it was just so breathtaking that at least for the second one, I wasn't as harsh as I was the first time around. Now, of course, we have come to the third installment in James Cameron's, well, I don't think it's definitely not a trilogy. Well, it's a trilogy so far, but I think there's 3 other movies planned. So I think it's going to be almost 6 or 7 films at the end of the day. But now we come, of course, to Fire and Ash, which is a continuation of the story of Earth's attempts to plunder this alien planet and the Na'vi, the natives, resisting. Of course, Jake Sully, the Marine, played by that Australian actor whose name escapes me right now, I can't believe it, has gone native. He is one of the Na'vi himself. He has a family, and sort of in tow they also have the Colonel Miles Quatrich or whatever, his son Spider, who's also gone native, and the family finds itself reeling from the events of the last movie, where they have lost one of their children. I don't even know her name. What was it? Zoe Saldana's character. She is now in grieving, and the family is trying to sort of pick up the pieces. Miles Quatrich's character, the Colonel, he still has a hard-on for Jake Sully and is intent on bringing him to at least Earth's justice. Again, there is no sort of reinventing the wheel in at least the storytelling. The storytelling is for James Cameron, who again has brought us some forget Titanic. Let's talk about Terminator. Let's talk about Aliens. Let's talk about those movies. He's not sort of doing anything new in this, what's it called, third movie. I mean, it does follow, I would say, almost like a linear plot, where again, the family is being pursued. What's it called? The Earth people, the Sky people, are intent on further exploiting this planet, and they are going, full on for doing a mass culling of those whales, of those whale creature type things. In between, you do have the subplots of Spider and what's it called, that Sigourney Weaver hybrid character. And now, of course, we have the introduction of yet another tribe of the Na'vi. These are the Ash people, who, having suffered the ravages of what's it called, natural disasters, are now sort of these marauder type tribe who only holds loyalty to themselves, and they are headed by I can't remember any of the names, but she is played by Una Chaplin, Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter or great granddaughter, one of those two. And they form sort of an alliance with what's it called, with what's it called, the Colonel, and sort of, it just sort of, that is it. And I mean, that it's sort of all building up to a sort of like, final confrontation. They're going to call on the planet's, the people's. Okay, I'm going to get to this in a second. As to what my sort of fan theory, if you will, of the thing is. But sort of like, as the plot runs, it's going to build up to this big sort of like, finale, a gigantic set piece, sort of everyone's going to rally, and eventually, of course, they are going to succeed. No spoilers there. I mean, it's kind of expected. So very quickly, before I get into some other sort of gripes with this movie, but sort of, should you watch this in the cinema, should you stream it, or should you skip it? The movie was made for the big screen. So, I mean, sort of, if over the holiday season, you guys, you don't have anything better to do with 3.5 hours of your life, and you have a bladder the size of, I don't know, like a football or something like that, and you can bear sitting there for that time, then yeah, definitely. I mean, sort of watch it in the cinema, because again, it is a technical marvel. It is an achievement that has been so far unrivaled by any movie. I can't think of any movies to date that have been able to push the needle of VFX so far. So yeah, I mean, watch it for that alone. Otherwise, this is not a movie to be streamed at home. No. Because the thing is that you will lose all of that sort of grandeur. You will lose all of the visuals. So there's no point in watching this movie at home. Catch it in the cinema. Okay, so the thing is, I spoke about how this movie pushes the needle in terms of the VFX and all of that. But it does not push the needle in terms of its storytelling. Now, the thing is that at the end of the last movie, we got hints that sort of like, that hybrid character is somehow, I mean, we always knew that sort of the Na'vi were sort of connected to this planet, but we sort of they were almost in direct sort of communication with it. But we still, at least I remember watching the last movie and feeling and was hoping that at least in this one, and there are hints to my theory, I guess, being proven, that yes, this planet is, we know it's living, but I thought that it was an entire, like a single almost organism, and that sort of all of these sort of like, the fauna, the flora, all of it are just sort of manifestations of that sort of spirit of this planet. And what is it called? They call it Ewa. And we get a hint, almost a manga-esque hint as to its appearance, because there are scenes in which the character tries to connect and speak directly with the god. And sort of we do see the god head almost. No more spoilers there. But I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see less of perhaps, you know, this other stuff that we've seen before about sort of, oh, you know, we're family, we have to stick together, we have to bond, we have to do this, or there's tribal council this and tribal council that, and all of these things. I really want him to sort of delve further into the mythos and further into sort of, you know, this planet. And I really, really wanted to see, because the thing is that at the end of all of these movies, it's almost like, okay, you know, we won the battle, but we did not win the war. Like, we were able to temporarily stop the humans from taking over this planet. And again, that happens in this one as well. Like, come on, I mean, we need to see more. I mean, yes, you've got more movies planned, and I think the next one is out in like another 4 or 5 years. It does take quite a while to make these movies. You know, I understand. But like, I wanted more. I wanted more in terms of the story. I wanted more. I mean, yes, you do have like sort of some character arcs. You see sort of the Colonel almost softening up. The humans, of course, are very one-dimensional. We don't really, I mean, you know, you see that sort of the Zoe Saldana one going through this whole thing of sort of at first being completely opposed to the humans, but then sort of again, sort of rediscovering her humanity, whatever. But I want more. I don't want to see the same story told again in maybe part 4. Sure, I'll watch it. But like, you know, if it's more of the same, I don't think I would like to sort of stick around for like maybe 5 or 6. One more thing. If the second movie was able to, again, wow us with its visualization, with, I mean, sort of like, you know, of the ocean and the seas and all of that, I was really expecting him to maybe do that in part 3 with maybe another element. Maybe this time around he would go, I mean, into the skies, because we do introduce to another sort of Navi tribe who are sort of wind traders who ride around in these hot air balloon type things. So I would have wanted to see that, but he doesn't do that this time. Even though, again, it's still a wonder to behold. So let's hope he does something different in the 4th installment. Now, that's Avatar Fire and Ash for you.